Study Guide, Give Up Meditation, Get Enlightenment. This study guide provides a comprehensive overview of the philosophical and psychological frameworks presented in the text, Give Up Meditation, Get Enlightenment. It explores the distinctions between forced meditation and natural enlightenment, the mechanics of the mind, and the nature of human suffering. Review quiz short answer questions. 1. Why does the author cite the teachings of Astavakra Maharishi? 2. According to the text, what is the root cause of human sorrow and mental agony? 3. How does the author define Manolaya and Manonasa? 4. Why is the demand for pleasure identified as a barrier to enlightenment? 5. Explain the metaphor of frozen water versus liquid water in relation to the mind. 6. What commonality exists between the enlightenment experiences of Buddha J. Krishnamurti and Ramana Maharishi? Zavan. What is the Chejadakranti and how is it formed? 8. Distinguish between a reaction and a counteraction as described in the text. 9. Why does the author argue that intellectual understanding is sufficient for enlightenment? 10. How should an enlightened person balance their inner life with their outer responsibilities? Answer Key 1. Astavakra Maharishi's role. The author cites Astavakra to demonstrate that the call to abandon meditation is not a new or radical concept, but one rooted in ancient wisdom. Astavakra, who enlightened King Janaka, categorically stated that practicing meditation and seeking trance states, samadhi, are forms of bondage that should be given up. 2. The root of sorrow. Sorrow is caused by attachment and the demand for pleasure. When an object of attachment is lost, or a situation contradicts our will, it creates an inward compression or mental agony. This contradiction between reality and our desire is the primary source of suffering. 3. Manolaya versus Manonasa. Manolaya is the integration or joining of the mind with an object or experience, resulting in a frozen or fixed state of mind. Manonasa is the destruction or closure of this integration, representing the mind's natural, liquid, and no-mind state where it remains free from grips or fixed shapes. 4. The demand for pleasure. The urge to reach a desireless state is itself a desire and a demand for a pleasurable sensation. Because effort is inherently driven by this demand, striving for enlightenment through meditation only reinforces the conflict and the I consciousness that prevents true liberation. 5. Liquid versus frozen mind. A frozen mind, Manolaya, takes a solid shape based on an experience and requires time to melt back to its natural state. A liquid mind, Manonasa, takes the shape of a vessel, an experience, but remains fluid, releasing that shape immediately without any effort or lingering attachment once the experience passes. 6. The role of desperation. All three figures reached a state of utter failure and psychological desperation after exhausting all traditional meditational efforts. Enlightenment occurred only when they reached a point of doing nothing, summa iru, allowing the mind to function in a different dimension beyond search and motive. 7. Chijadakranti. This is the knot formed by the union of chith, pure sensitivity, consciousness, and jadam, matter, lifeless experience. This knot creates the experiencer, or I consciousness, which is a temporary entity produced by the mind's interaction with thoughts and experiences. 8. Reaction versus counteraction. A reaction is an unconscious, natural response to a stimulus, like feeling anger when insulted that lasts only a fraction of a second. A counteraction is a willful, conscious decision to adopt and act upon that reaction, like choosing to scold someone back, which gives the initial reaction renewed life. 9. Intellectual understanding. The author posits that because enlightenment is our natural state, rather than a skill to be acquired, no practical technique is required. A clear intellectual recognition of one's inability to attain anything is enough to halt the effort of the mind, which is the definition of enlightenment. Sure, the complete man, an enlightened person should be a gnani, inwardly innocent and actionless regarding their inner world, but a karma yogi, outwardly expert and meditative in the physical world. They recognize that while the inner world requires no effort, the outer world requires diligent action and participation. Essay Questions 1. The Paradox of Effort. Analyze the author's argument that giving up meditation is the only path to enlightenment. Discuss how the act of striving can become a barrier to spiritual liberation. 2. Psychology of the experiencer. Using the author's analogy of the dreamer, evaluate the relationship between the I consciousness and the experiences it perceives. How does the text challenge the idea of a permanent, changeless self? 3. The science of innocence. Explore the concept of the childlike state as the original nature of the mind. How do knowledge, memory, and calculation contaminate this state? And is it possible to truly return to it? 4. Action in the world. Discuss the concept of a karma yogi. How does an enlightened individual manage worldly responsibilities and outer meditation while remaining actionless within their inner psyche? 5. Critique of spiritual trance. The text suggests that states like samadhi and occult powers are still within the realm of Manalaya. Compare these extraordinary experiences with the author's description of ordinary enlightenment. Glossary of key terms, term definition Atma, the soul or spirit, the pure, original, and natural state of beingness that exists beyond the mind and senses. Chijada Kranti, the knot, formed by tying together pure intelligence, chith, and acquired knowledge. Experience, jadam, creating the experiencer. Chith, pure sensitivity, feeling, or unqualified awareness. The life energy that provides the base for consciousness. Gnani, an enlightened person, one who possesses the intellectual clarity regarding their inner world and functions without psychological effort. Jadam, matter or inanimate things. In a psychological context, it refers to lifeless experiences, memories, and knowledge. Karma Yogi 1, who performs external actions with perfection, planning, and meditation, while remaining inwardly unattached to the results. Manolaya, the integration or joining of the mind with an object, a state of mental concentration or frozen experience. Manonasa, the no-mind state, the natural liquid state of the mind, where it is free from the grips of Manolaya and allows experiences to flow freely. Liberation, or the state of being free from the cycle of desire and sorrow, equated with the state of Mananasa. Samadhi, a state of trance or intense meditative absorption, described in the text as a frozen state that still falls under the category of Manolaya. Summa Iru, a Tamil phrase meaning do nothing, refers to the inner state of surrendering all effort to regulate or change one's psychological experiences. 3 Puti, the 3 states of experience, the observer, the observation, and the observed. Yoga, in the context of this text, doing any action with perfection and total participation of the mind.